All right. I'm so excited. Today we have a great guest on, someone who I've actually spoken with before. I think we did a webinar and some other stuff. And you can catch her on TikTok. She is an avid TikToker. And we're going to talk about what happens if there is no more TikTok. And then you have seen her on America's Next Top Model. You've probably seen her on commercials. You may have seen her hands and not even known that they were her hands because she does parts modeling as well. So before I bring her on, I'm going to actually play a little video that will show you guys those parts modeling hands and some other pieces. So let's take a look at my guest today, Raylia Lewis.
Raylia Lewis, and some of you may recognize me from the 21st cycle of America's Next Top Model.
My name is Raylia. I'm from Philly. I'm 22. I like to twerk.
Or maybe from the Fashion One television model series that premiered internationally in 2019. And some of you may even recognize me from some of these cool ads.
The Sands is now Wind Creek, Bethlehem, and your dollars in cash and prizes.
What? Yay! That's me!
I've been blessed to walk in some of the most reputable shows nationwide. I've done bridal, and then there's parts modeling,
Please welcome my guest today, Raylia Lewis. Hi, Raylia.
Hi. What an introduction.
I know, I love it. That was great. I loved your video on TikTok that explains everything, and your videos on TikTok are always great.
Thank you.
In fact, you know what? I actually think. Let me see. I thought I had. Oh, I do. I want to show everybody just one of your TikTok videos. This one was around Valentine's Day this year,
Okay.
and let everybody know where to go.
So it is one of my most favorite times of the year, love season, and this is my first year celebrating Valentine's Day. I'm sorry, Galentine's Day. So I had to host an event, okay? So this is what I'm wearing. The top is from my niece's store. I will post the info in the comment section because how cute is this top? And now this is my place before. I was on decor duty, so this is what I came up with, okay? I made these really cute champagne cotton candy cocktails. I got some cute balloons, some cupcakes, some cookies, and we did our Valentine's Day potluck style. So everyone basically had to bring a gift, wear pink, and also bring a dish that represented the first letter of their name. My name is Raylia, and I brought ravioli. I had people who brought like charcuterie boards. That's me pouring that cute drink, by the way. And that's us toasting. But yeah, friends brought chicken. It was all kinds of stuff. We just had a time. It was so refreshing to be here.
That's so much fun. Did you have a great time?
I had the best time. I hadn't hosted a party or an event in like maybe 2 years. So that was my first time like getting to see everybody and getting everybody together. Best time ever. I'm doing it again.
That's great. And I love that you love I always watch your videos when you go like shopping for stuff. Like sometimes you just want to get a little something for yourself or your
Yeah.
house or whatever you need. And that's so much fun. So I love how you've been able to craft your TikTok and social media to not just be a model,
Yeah.
but you're a real person too.
Yes.
Don't you think that's important now for models?
Yes, I had to learn that though because first everything was model, right? If you follow me for a while, you didn't know my personality. I'm so much fun, funny. I like to dance. You didn't know it because all you saw was like on set, boomerangs, or just
Right.
like fashion pictures. So now I wanted to focus more on just being authentically myself. I wanted people to be able to engage with me in a way where they couldn't prior because I felt so far, so
Yeah.
unrelatable. Now I'm like just having conversations and just showing I love Family Dollar, I love Five and Below, I love Target, and I'm just taking people on like shopping hauls and talking about things that I buy and discounts and just getting to show them more about who I actually am as a person because
Yeah.
I'm nothing like the model stuff. Nothing.
Yeah, because in the model stuff, you look so serious and
Mhm.
like, it's super glamorous and stuff. And you're totally glamorous. I mean, you're naturally glamorous.
Thank
But
you.
but you're also just a regular girl, which is so great. I think that's great. What would you say? What advice do you have for anybody who wants to get into the modeling business and maybe they're like 12, 13, 14, that kind of thing?
I would say success leaves clues. And this was probably the biggest mistake I made. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I didn't know where to look. So I was always looking at like celebrities and like what they were doing, from their hairstyles to their fashion choices to even like their brand deals. And I thought that like I would be shooting stuff like Beyonce. When you really need to look at like Chanel Iman, Jordan Dunn, like actual models who favor you, who look like you. I mean, like if you're a
Yeah.
black girl, look at black models. If you're a white model, look at white models, right?
Yeah.
And kind of just see what they're doing, because like I said, success leaves clues. So knowing what you need to look like, and also knowing what kind of model you want to be.
Mm.
I'm a commercial model. I'm super tall. I do runway. I am not a runway model. I am not on anybody's runway board. I'm busty, right? So that pigeonholed me for fashion. I'm not able to fit all of the sample size garments. So I had to figure out how to diversify. That's where I discovered, I have really nice hands. I can do parts, right? I learned how to maximize and create opportunities for myself where I really couldn't find any, because I wasn't a one-trick pony, and I didn't get so fixated on one kind of modeling where I wasn't open to what else I could do.
Yeah.
So when I discovered commercial modeling, not only do you make more money, there's no age gap. Like you don't age out. Like you're selling
Right.
things to everybody. So your height, your body shape, your size, your age just isn't as important. So it's easier for me to navigate like the commercial market. That's why you
Yeah.
can see me doing things for like Pepsi, and then you can see me doing something for a casino, right? You probably will never see me doing anything with Gucci, because I am not a high fashion model. So just knowing like where you fit can give you so much access to the right casting agents, the right rooms, right?
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to figure that out. Like just because you're tall doesn't mean you're going to nail the runway scene. Like you might do
Right.
really good on studio, you might do really good on bridal, on infomercials. So you have to kind of figure out like what kind of modeling you can actually do, not want to do.
Right. Isn't that funny how people do that? They think that if they want to be a model, that they have to be this one thing, and they don't even think about the other areas like parts modeling and all this different stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
it really is a combination kind of, right, of what fits you. And I'm always telling people, for some reason, think like that across the modeling world, as soon as you're 30, everything's over. And I'm like, no, there are 60-year-olds who never got work in their 40s, but now that they have white hair and they look
Yes.
great, they get work because the handful of people that are doing it,
I'll be 33 on tomorrow, and I am not worried about aging out, about being old. I am embracing my 30s.
Yeah.
I am still working. Of course, your tolerance for things change, but I have no fears about me as a model at 33. Right now, it's about maximizing. It's about
Yeah.
learning how to teach it. It's about, hosting and just figuring out like what else I want to do alongside modeling, because modeling will always be like my thing. It's my
Yeah.
passion. And because, like you said, the woman with the white hair at 60 can work, there's space for me too. It's about just
Yeah.
knowing how to figure out where you fit. And that's an ongoing thing. Like I'm always going to have to go back to the drawing board and pivot a little bit and figure out what works. And I'm actually in that space now. So age is not a factor. It's really about how you look
Mhm.
and where you fit. It's
Yeah.
not-
And well, happy birthday tomorrow. I
Thank
didn't
you.
realize, I knew you were an Aries, but I didn't realize it was coming up. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's I want to take a look at some of these great pictures I have of
Okay.
you. Let the viewers see, like, check out some of these pictures
Yes.
of Raylia that are just so nice. You know what this reminds me of? This photo, you remind me of a young what's her name? From Atlanta. Shoot. Cynthia Bailey. You know Cynthia
Okay.
Bailey?
I can see that.
That's amazing. I mean, I always think you have that like look, like you could be her little sister or daughter or
Yes.
something. And then I love this comp card. It shows like such great hair, different hair, because
you.
when you have like such a look that changes so
I
like
know.
it's
People are always
amazing.
thank you.
Yeah, and like this one's so powerful. Like
Thank
that is just so cool. And you talk about, your favorite kind of thing being beauty modeling.
I love it. Definitely.
I'm always trying to tell people that that's the key when
Mhm.
when you're a young woman and you want to be doing like Neutrogena commercials or what have you. It's all about that, you know, skin from here up
Yes.
and just looking gorgeous and natural, right?
Yes, I had to learn that. It's about knowing your angles. It's
Yeah.
knowing how to bring life into your eyes. It's about knowing how to find light. And I have a student now who she's a modest model, so she's actually covered. She's Muslim,
Yeah.
and they are dominating fashion now.
Yeah.
Like there's so much space for her now, right? She demonstrates and represents something so much bigger than what I represent.
Yeah.
A marginalized group of women, right, who love fashion as well, who love makeup. They just don't have representation, and now things are finally starting to happen for them. And I tell her, like own who you are, like be confident, know that you take up space, you have enough. You have to be a beauty model. You have to be able to sell yourself to other women, right? Because women are looking to you for hair color, for hair texture, for the way products look on your hair, for the way makeup sits on your skin. So it's not about being perfect, right? I break out sometimes, right? It's about just making sure that you make the product look the best way. Like it's almost like you're a mannequin or a hanger. So I just work with her, and I tell anybody who wants to know these, just the importance of like knowing what your strengths are when it comes to your face. Like, for example, I look much better on this side of my face. It just photographs better. Like it just does. Like,
Yeah. Everybody has a good side, right?
yeah. So whenever I get in front of the camera, like I'm always playing up this side of my face. Like every single time. Like I keep this side of my face covered for the most part. And I just play up this side of my face. So like even small things like that. This eye does not cooperate all the time. Like when I'm smiling, this eye a little different than that eye. So I have to sometimes like over exaggerate my eye. And you learn that from trial and error, from being in front of the camera. And you may not see it. You may say, oh, she's a beautiful girl. And I wouldn't argue. Thank you. But I'm human, right? And sometimes things don't always photograph well. So you have to my chin. Sometimes I have to lift it a little bit because it's heavier, right? So you just learn how to play around with the camera to make everything look cohesive and really good.
Yeah.
And that's what beauty modeling is. It's about using your hands, making them look graceful and beautiful, and just using them to frame your face and to sometimes even like hold a product in your hand. So everything you just have to be very aware of your body, literally from fingertip, like Tyra says, to toe.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing, like you were saying, I'm always telling young people, especially of color, that, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, there weren't as many opportunities. There wasn't like, I've noticed that every commercial now is biracial, and they've obviously realized that, oh, now we can sell to everybody. You know what I mean? Like why limit to just one race or one look or one style even? And so now it's so great that, along with the ability for people to do stuff, is that they can kind of like show other people like this is what it's all about. It's about reality, and authenticity is like the number one thing that's come about. I think even since the pandemic, it's become like authenticity. You would see people in their pajamas, doing stuff on video, and that before used to be thought of as like a bad thing, but then when we were all stuck in the house, it was okay.
It was normal.
Right?
I think we want normal. Like even I tell my student, like when you go into like those casting audition rooms, like sometimes you get the job because they like you.
Yeah.
Your smile, the way you speak about nature. It's not just about, oh, she's pretty. Everybody's pretty in that room.
Right.
But what is it about you that makes me want to give you an opportunity, that makes me want to attach my product to you?
Yeah.
So I tell her to also like cultivate that internal world, like have depth, like have something to say, right? Like what are your opinions about the world? Like what are you passionate about? Right. Because sometimes you get so focused on like, I just want to look pretty.
Yeah.
That you just become like almost like soulless in a way, or just like boring, I'll say, right?
Yeah.
And every time I go into an audition or casting, right? Because audition is more for acting, but castings, they always want to know about me. Do you love animals? What's your favorite place to visit? What do you like to do in your free time? What are you good at? What's something about you that no one would know or guess by looking at you? And I've booked a lot of jobs just by being able to like answer those questions and not fold under pressure. And I care if I like mess up a word. Like I don't try to be perfect. And I think that's also something that people like about me, is that I just show up as myself.
Right.
That's it. And take it or leave it.
Yeah, the authenticity is where it's at now, and
Yeah,
it's amazing that that's what we've come to. I'm so happy that
me too.
that's what we've come to. Um, it's so cool too, I think, that you realize that it's not just about modeling. I'm telling people all the time, acting is modeling with words and
Yeah,
modeling is acting without words.
yes,
So if you want to get into the business, you can't just think your whole life you're going to be silent and pretty. You have to now, you're always having to do interviews backstage, even
yes,
when you're runway modeling and all this stuff. So you have to cultivate that part of you,
yeah.
right? Isn't that like a big important part now?
It's such a big part. I've booked jobs off of personality. I've
Yeah.
had book jobs during like send in a dance video. We want to see you dancing, and it's a lingerie company. You want to see me dancing? They want to see you dance. Now, when you get to
Yeah.
set, you don't even have to dance, but they want to see you dance, and you have to know how to dance. And even if you're not great at it, be willing and courageous enough to just do it. Right?
Yeah.
I've booked jobs because they liked my smile. It felt warm. We
Yeah.
like that about you. We want to hire you, right? So you have to cultivate, especially I always say that models should be more than models anyway. That's just my belief
Yeah.
system because you do age out at some point. Not saying you could be too old, but do you really want to be competing with 18-year-olds for the rest of your life? Probably
Right.
not, right? Maybe you want to do something different. Maybe you want to teach. Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Something else. Even if you're still in that industry, maybe it's on a different vantage point, right? So
Right.
it's like cultivate other skills, like put other things in your toolbox. Like what else are you good at? And start to think
Yeah.
about those things while you're young, while you're
Yeah.
on those sets. Look at other people, talk to the directors, talk to the videographers, the photographers, watch them, ask questions, be curious. Everybody is so kind on set. You're spending hours with the same people, sometimes days at a time. You don't have
Yeah.
nothing to talk, while you're waiting about there's so much downtime. So learning how to just be expressive, learning how to be kind, polite, respectful, but also take up space, right? I think it's
Yeah.
so important, and it can be the defining factor based on like how much you work in this industry. Like it really can. And then you also have to know how to deal with rejection, right? Because even though like I'm great, I get turned down a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm always telling people. Don't look at auditions or castings as like, oh, I got to get it. Think of it as a free class. And then that way, because a lot of times, what we were talking about earlier, sometimes people will go into a casting and they read perfectly or they model perfectly and they look great or whatever. But the people that are making the decisions, like, just not hitting with me. It's not what I'm feeling for the part. So then you see someone who didn't do great get the part and you're like, why? And you'll never know.
Because sometimes, granted, it's based on like looks, right? Like sometimes
Yeah.
you are reduced to that. Sometimes you never
Yeah.
know, right? Like there's been times where I booked like Davis Bridal, right? And
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody was calling me, sorry, but like I was a little too tall for the gowns, like a little too tall. So I worked one day. The next time they just couldn't have me back because I was a little too tall. So that doesn't mean like I'm not a good model. I
Right.
can make myself shorter. I'm a tall girl. So
Right.
there will be things that you can't control sometimes, like my bust size, right? I
Yeah.
made it really great in that swimsuit, but that girl has the size breast where people aren't looking at her breast; they're looking at the garment.
Yeah.
And as the owner, the designer of the company, you have to do what's best for the brand, not for who's prettier or who has the better body. And I
Right.
think that models have to realize like it's not always personal. It's just about what makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't take it personally. It's all
Yeah.
business, and you'll never know what's in the mind of the casting director.
Oh,
So it's just don't think of, oh, I have to get these auditions or I'll die. It's like it's just another practice of presenting yourself in front of strangers that can make good decisions.
I used to look at it like a numbers game.
Mhm.
I used to say the more doors I knock on, the better chance it is for me to actually book a job. So
Yeah.
I would go on so many auditions, and eventually it got to a point where I was able to like have at least one job a week. which is
Yeah,
like
because
4
that's
jobs
really
a
the
month.
key, right? Building
Yeah.
up and even how you get paid in this industry. Sometimes it takes months to get paid.
I say about
So,
30 to 100 days. Agencies say 90 to 30.
yeah.
30 to 90, I'm sorry. It's 90 to 100.
Yeah. Yeah. And people don't realize that. And it's so weird because, we've been seeing people in the public eye, like Billy Porter and other
Yeah.
people coming out and saying, we don't make that much money,
Here's
based
the
on what we
thing.
do.
As an entrepreneur, you only eat what you hunt.
Yeah.
right? So I feel like you're always at a deficit, right? Because if I'm first of all, you have in this industry, you got to invest a lot. From
Yeah.
travel to garments to I get facials. I had to
Yeah.
get chemical pills. I had acne at one point. I had to get my teeth fixed. I'm actually getting back on braces soon. You have to make sure you look your best. Taking care of my
Yeah.
hair, my nails. So everything costs money. My portfolio cost me thousands, right?
Yeah.
Every single job you posted, I had to either catch a flight to these jobs, get a hotel room, drive, or catch a train or a bus.
Yeah.
Nothing's free.
Right.
I don't care how you think about it, how pretty you are, nothing's free. So when you're waiting 3 months for a job and you just spent all this money to get to set and you still have to live a normal life, you begin to be broke a lot.
Yeah.
No matter how much you work. That's how you gotta kind of figure out what else am I good at.
And
You
that's
know?
when you have to also get creative, right? In
Yeah.
fact, that brings up, I want to show you this videos of this girl who got really creative
Oh,
on how to,
100%.
this is great. So this one I already showed you, but I'm going to show our viewers because I love it. Amazing, right? Like you can look like anything if you
People
really
are
are
so
creative enough.
creative. Like, who would even think, like, I'm going to use my bed sheet and stuff it with paper? To feel like Ariana Grande, right?
Isn't that fun? And I'm always telling people who are like, well, I want to do photos at home that look elegant and all this stuff, but I don't have the right lights and all this. I'm like, it doesn't matter what you have. I grew up in projects and low income housing and stuff. And I'll tell you, we never wanted for anything. I made things out of cardboard boxes
Yeah.
and stuff. And we had the best time of our lives, you
You
know?
make it work. You take what you have and you make it work.
Yeah.
Period.
It's really amazing what can happen.
Period.
Well, before we go, I just want to show you one more thing and get your thought on it. Now we get some little people, tiny people, little like 5, 6 year olds. This little girl is a model and she's 5 years old, I believe. And I just want to show you how cute she is.
Drop it to the flow, drop it to the flow, then. Now lean, then. Turn around, then. Turn around, then. Now wiggle, 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 wiggle. Play dead like.
Isn't she great? She's so
She's
awesome.
5?
Yeah, she's 5 and
She
she's
walks
like
better than me.
right? She's like amazing, and she's just on TikTok. And she is, her mom is really blowing her up really big now because she's getting her out there. In fact, here's another.
10K subscribers. I need y'all to like this video. Comment me. Follow everybody that likes your comment. Follow everybody that likes the video. Use the sound. I'm trying to get everybody on Black TikTok Gang to 10K.
Isn't she amazing? She is so cool.
Not
So
kind of
I
girl.
see young people that are trying to get in the business all the time, and that young, they usually have no skills. Like they
Yeah,
usually are
like,
like, scared.
A
She
great
has
stage
got it.
presence. She knows how to walk. She knows how to work a crowd. She knows how to work a room.
Yeah,
She is light years ahead of most people.
yeah, she's
Literally.
gonna be huge. She's gonna be really
She's amazing.
huge.
She's stunning. She's the most adorable thing ever.
Right? I love her so much. She's great. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here. I'm
Thanks
sure
for
we can talk
having me.
for hours, and I hope you have a great birthday tomorrow.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure you will, and keep on keeping on because nobody can keep an Aries down. So
You
it
got that
doesn't
right. Look at my
doesn't
baby.
matter if they try.
Even if they try, they can't keep us down.
All right. Thanks, Raylia. And thank
You're
you guys
welcome.
all for watching. And we'll see you next time on
Bye.
live. I almost said my other show on JC Live. See y'all next time.